Gonna hit the record button. So we went through the 9 ways a millionaire agent thinks. We are going to talk a little bit about the value proposition. We're going to finish up think like a millionaire, and then we're going to go into earn like a millionaire. And when we go into earn like a millionaire, this is where I get to nerd out, because this is my favorite part of everything that we're going to talk about, because this is the action items and this is how we all win. So let me share my screen. Here we go. And as always, and like I said, I will absolutely send, I put the, I'm in 9 market centers. So I put the slides in the video in the market centers that I am in. If you don't see it there, then definitely just shoot me an email and I will get you there. So we talked about the 9 ways a millionaire agent thinks, and now we're talking a little bit about seller value proposition. And I'm going to tell you the opportunity here. A lot of people get stuck because they don't know what to say for their value proposition. Here's the really cool thing about life is that with AI right now, you could create a seller proposition for my business based on whatever your beliefs are, and it will populate stuff to make you think about it. So if you're getting stuck because you just don't know what to say, AI is your best friend. And I'm actually going to do a class on AI just because it has changed the trajectory of my business, both in coaching and in real estate. So top 10 service areas of the seller value proposition. The seller value proposition includes 10 key areas of service that agents must master to deliver exceptional value services. These areas range from pricing the property to managing the closing process. So when you go into the book, which I should open, and you look at that, how can you enhance your services in these 10 areas to better serve your client, right? What sets you apart from everyone else? That is the question that I want you to answer as you're thinking about this. And there's things like needs analysis, pricing strategy, right? Do you truly know why they're looking to buy or sell real estate? I will tell you, if you do not have a good needs analysis, what ends up happening is they turn around and they're like, oh, yeah, I want to buy. Well, when do you want to buy? Why is that important? It's that ready, willing, and able. When you don't have the ready, willing, and able, that's when people fall off. So we want to get there. So take some time over the week, look at the 10 for buyers, 10 for sellers, and then what way can you enhance it? And this is pretty much the same thing, which we're not going to do. All right. Then we have functionary and fiduciary. This in itself is how you can win over almost any listing or any buyer. Because there are very few agents out there that really talk about fiduciary and functionary. If you've been around for a while with the whole NAR lawsuit, we did a class called Value Spread that really dives into the functionary and fiduciary. So how can you shift your mindset and actions to become a true fiduciary for clients, going beyond tasks to build lasting relationships? I would love somebody to share with me how they go from functionary to fiduciary, because I think this is hugely important. Anybody? And for years, I didn't really understand it until I understood it. We take it for granted. Anyone have thoughts?
Okay. I just have to say that this conversation with has come up in trainings at our market center, and some of the leaders have kind of said that even as a fiduciary, you would still work at a high level because you're a professional. So they don't really like this very much, which I thought, wow, this was actually part of our training to include this in our packets, to explain the difference. But I was just very confused at that because, none of us would work under these 18, would work at a low level like this if we had a client we were working with. That's the way they say it. So I don't know.
Well, and that's a great point. A functionary is usually a customer. A functionary is, you don't owe them fiduciary. So you're 100% correct. And I would say the caveat is the opposite. There are hundreds and hundreds of transactions where the customer was a customer and the agent treated them like a client, even though they didn't have the client relationship. Right. So I would be more concerned about making sure that you're in the right lane yourself and that you're explaining it to them, because you're 100% right. As a client, you do not give anything less than fiduciary. And if you do, you're probably, I'm going to be brutal. You should be rethinking your career as a real estate agent because being fiduciary is hugely important. Okay. So build a 20-lane highway for your future. Okay. So what does that mean exactly? Success requires creating scalable systems that handle growth efficiently. By building a broad and durable foundation, agents ensure that they can manage increased business volume without getting overwhelmed. So when I think of this, right, I think of this along the lines of, do you have a comprehensive seller questionnaire when you bring them on? Same thing with buyer, right? What specific systems or processes in your business could be expanded to support future growth? And I think we talked about this when we talked about if somebody says, thanks so much for the photos, they look great. And we just say, thank you. Instead of saying, I so appreciate that you love the photos. Is there anyone else in your life thinking of selling that would benefit from great photos, right? That gives you an opportunity. If that was your system, every time somebody said something, that will grow your business. And then we have the 80-20 rule, right? The 80-20 rule is, and well, somebody tell me what the 80-20 rule is. This is where you come off mute and talk to me.
What?
The 80-20 rule.
That basically 20% of your activities will net you 80% of your results. The other 80 that you want to kind of is secondary. That's not going to get you the top results.
Absolutely, 100%. So when we're looking at this, what activities in your business make up the vital 20% that continue to most success? And how can you allocate more time? This is the 5 jobs of a real estate agent: lead generate, lead follow up, go on appointments, negotiate, train and educate, and understand your talk tracks. That gets you to where you desire to be. And then leads, lead generation versus lead receiving. This is one of my favorites. How many of you would love to just open your hands and receive leads, right? We get into this business thinking that we can literally open up our hands and leads just come in. And then we are quickly advised that we actually have to go out and market and get them. So the success of a real estate business hinges on consistent lead generation. Agents who rely on passive lead receiving are vulnerable to market shifts, while proactive lead generation ensures stability and growth regardless of external conditions. Just take COVID for an example, right? Like, real estate was falling from the sky. And don't take it the wrong way for anyone that had great years during COVID. You worked and you hustled and you did what you needed to do to make sure that you are part. But there were a lot of transactions. So you could talk to almost anybody and they were thinking about doing real estate. Today, you got to kind of fight for that opportunity, and you have to lead generate to get that business. I have wholeheartedly lived by the statement of, when you can build a business in a shifting market, you can win in any market because you learn the tools and systems and the knowledge to get you there. So are you actively generating leads, or are you waiting to receive them? What specific actions can you take today to transition from lead receiving to lead generating? Somebody share. Other than Kathleen, she shared a lot. You can share too, but I'm going to call out some other. Somebody share.
Make phone calls and follow up.
Yep. Yeah. And if you're not
Sending
going to follow
mailers.
up, yeah.
It's something I've had a hard time doing in the past, but I'm working very hard at getting into the rhythm, and it's the more I do it, the better it is. I still have the interruptions, but then I just jump right back on the wagon as soon as I can.
And after a while, don't feel good when you don't do the activities when they become a habit. It makes you feel a little icky. Absolutely. When you lead generate and you get the leads, be sure to follow up. I've had a coaching client who could lead generate all day long. She had 120, and for whatever reason, she had a huge block on the lead follow-up. If you have a block on the lead follow-up, it could be a system, it could be a model, it could be a mindset, right? So if you have a block on doing follow-up, reach out to somebody in leadership, reach out to me, we'll get you there. All right, so listings are king, right? Listings provide the highest return on time and effort in real estate. They offer better control of your schedule, maximize income, and serve as a powerful lead generation platform. By focusing on listings, agents can achieve scalable long-term success. For every one listing, there's an opportunity for 2 additional pieces of business. You just have to do the activities around that listing. So how can you shift your focus toward obtaining more listings? What steps will you take to make seller listings the core of your business? So someone share with me, what are you doing to get more listings?
Listings bring listings. So team up with somebody else and share theirs. Obviously get permission first. Feel free to share any of mine, but that was actually my biggest 2025 goal, was to shift mine from buyers to sellers. And I think I have 8 listings right now and a potential for 3 more coming.
Okay, I have to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at those 8 listings, what was the one way you got it? Was it because of other people's listings, or was it because of more conversations because of other people's listings?
Some came from Marketplace, on conversations on Facebook Marketplace. One came from a referral, and one of them actually came from one of my other listings. So listings bring listings. They want to purchase one of mine and they need to sell theirs in order to do so. So I was able to get all of the sides of the transaction on that.
That's 3 transactions.
Wow.
It works.
Yep.
The biggest point is, who do you have to become, right? Because we're still in the think part. Who do you have to become to bring that onto your energy? Go ahead, Kelly.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you say Facebook Marketplace, what are you doing? Like, how are you connecting?
I go onto Facebook Marketplace and look at, I try to find for sale by owners on there. It takes quite a bit of work. You have to figure out what is an agent and what's not. But just reaching out to them and understanding that they're trying to sell it for sale by owner, but trying to get that listing from them. And I have one coming up as well, possibly from that I started in, I think June or July. I started reaching out to her and she just finally came back to me.
Facebook Marketplace, I mean, I coached Jennifer, she's a team member with. She started real estate March 2021, 22, I think March 2022. She capped in 90 days. Her first year, she did over 300 in GCI. Her second year, she did over 4. And this year, she'll probably do over 750. Her business, the only thing she looked at is, how do I get listings? People that are in Facebook Marketplace, there's 2 types of people there. There are investors looking for great deals. There are sellers that are just testing out the market. And then there are for sale by owners that truly have to sell. And then there's renters that should be buying, but are looking for rentals. And there's rentals that should be selling and not renting. So when you look at Facebook Marketplace, there's huge opportunity. And if you're not in 24 and 25, reach out to me. In 24 and 25, there is literally a whole section on how to run that play. All right. So How can you shift your focus towards obtaining more listings, strategic data, right? And again, what mindset do you have to get and have to be able to win on getting more listings? And then the many virtues of a seller listing, right? And this is pretty much going to say what we just talked about. There's higher marketing opportunities. There's better control of your time. If you're a dual career agent or someone that wants more time in your life, take listings, because other people will show your listings. Although with the NAR lawsuit, more buyers are going directly to the listing agents. However, those buyers are more serious. I find buyers that are going to that are like actually looking after the NAR, they're more serious. So then if they call you and that house is not for them, how do you add your value so that you could show them other properties? And then seller listings are the foundation for sustainable and scalable businesses. It doesn't matter if it's a buyer market, a seller market, or a neutral market. You have to have listings, right? And the more listings you have, the more buyers you get. So if it's a buyer's market, you want lots of buyers. If it's a seller's market, you want lots of sellers. No matter what, sellers lead to both markets. So how can you adjust your business strategy to prioritize seller listings? What specific steps will you take to maximize the opportunities they provide? Then you have leverage. Leverage is the third L. So leverage is essentially for scaling a real estate business. It involves identifying the right people, creating efficient systems, and providing the tools needed for success. The what? Proper leverage maximizes productivity and breaks through ceilings of achievement. This book was written in 2012. And when we go into Earn a Million, there's going to be a lot of things that I say that was great in 2010, 2012. We do it differently. This is one of those things. The tools, the systems, then the who, right? The tools, what do you need for tools? What do the systems need to look like? And then who is the who? I would argue having a coach is your first hire before you hire a person. Yes, I'm selfishly a coach. I say that. The reason why I say that is you don't know what you don't know. And you learn more. I had a coaching client this morning that did not have a brand and was struggling. And we used a tool, and his brand was created in less than 5 minutes. Okay. Had he not had the who, which was the coach that guided him to the what, and then the system, that's where things fall down. I will also say when you have the what and the how, you're probably saving yourself 6 months of the who. So get the who, get the what, then hire the coach. And then hire the team members. And make sure when you're thinking about the team members, where do you really need support? Like what brings you joy and what do you dread? I always hire to what brings me the dread and less to what brings me I live in the joy. So I'm not going to hire somebody to do that part of the business. So what areas of your business would you benefit most from leverage? How can you ensure you are hiring the right people and implementing effective systems and tools? If you don't have a written business plan, that's a coach, that's a person. If you don't have a lead generation plan, that's a tool and a system, right? So when you're looking at your plan and your business, what do you have and what don't you have? And then we have the 8 goal categories of the millionaire real estate agent. These are another area that I love, right? The 8 goals categories include the most critical areas that real estate agents must track. This is the tracking part of your business. If you don't track your business, one day you're going to look up and say, I had a great business. I don't know how I did it. I don't know what worked and what didn't work. So tracking is hugely important. We're going to dive into each of these really quickly. So the first goal category is lead generating. That's a no-brainer. Leads are the foundation of success. To achieve big, agents must prioritize lead generation. I will tell you 90% of agents don't prioritize lead generation, and that's why 13 out of 100 have a sustainable business, and everyone else falls off within 2 years. So lead generation is a must. So what specific actions can you take to improve your lead generation efforts? How will you track your leads to ensure you're meeting your business goals? Again, what tools, what systems, and you're the who in this. So what specific actions are you, the who, going to take? Anyone have anything they want to share? I really want you all to go through these slides and answer these questions. It's hugely important that you answer these questions because this is how you're going to grow. This is the think part. Who do I have to become?
The tracking for me is difficult. It's kind of like I'm going through phases. I know right now I'm working on time blocking, which is helping me with making the calls. For me to take on tracking, I tried last week, and then the next day I didn't do the tracking. So I've kind of taken a step back and said, okay, let's break it into sections. Let's get in the habit of doing these two things and then add the third, fourth, and fifth as I go along. Because I can find all kinds of reasons not to make calls. But if I get in the habit of doing it, as we spoke about earlier, I'm finding it easier. And it's only, I guess, a week since we've talked about it, the time blocking. So that has helped me tremendously. Because
And I would say
I can get lost in the wind. I mean, I can just.
we all can. I will say that don't wait too long to add tracking to the calendar. Tracking should be on your calendar. So, and it should be a non-negotiable. Right now, you're building habits on the 2 other areas. Once you feel like those habits are where they should be, add the tracking as your next habit that you're going to build. There's a book called Atomic Habits. Anyone read it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Atomic Habits talks about habit stacking. So you lead generate, then you lead follow up, then you track, right? That's habit stacking. If you don't hit that first of lead generate, that the stacking of the habits is a lot harder. And you wouldn't go to the gym and then do your tracking because those don't connect together. So as you're thinking about what you're doing to track and to habit stack, what goes together as a group. So for example, if you're going out to show a property, right? What other habit, and you have to do public record checks. Some of us do. We do public record checks, or we go to the town hall to make sure that there's no violations. So if you're out on the road doing a showing and you need to go to town hall or do something outside, that's a habit stack that you could add. So I would group the activities and see if you could start adding the habits.
Tiffany, can I add, I like to use this 20-day tracking system or 20 contact tracking system from Bold.
Yes.
This is really nice, and you can like to use the other side to put down different notes. I found this to be really essential to my tracking. And then I just go through and I can follow up pretty easily also.
Yeah, I have a PDF version of that and a spreadsheet version of it. When I email everybody the slides, I'll make sure I add both of those to it. Because again, there's no point of lead generating if you're not going to lead follow up. And I was just on a call with a client who's like, I take calls in the car and then I forget that I even talked to that person. So him and I had the conversation around, okay, well, if you have a phone, you can literally say, hey, that person that I don't want to respond right now, create a reminder for X, Y, and Z. And they'll create a reminder and then you can go into your phone and have the reminder. Yeah, that's hugely helpful. Like, again, what's the system? What's the tool? And you should be asking that question every time you're doing an activity. should I be doing this activity? Would a system work better? Would a tool work better? Or is there leverage that I could put into place that meets where my budget is? How can you adjust your business strategy to focus more on securing listings? What steps will you take to track and achieve them? Okay. The third one is contracts written, right? You don't get paid unless you have contracts. You really don't get paid unless you have a closing. So how can you improve your process for writing contracts to ensure you meet your goals? What strategies can you implement to increase both the number and the quality of contracts written? So this one here, how do you write more offers? And number two, how do you make sure your offers are accepted? I don't know about you, but during the 2019 to 2022, there were 37 offers on a property in some instances. And you're like, how is mine going to get chosen? So what are you doing to make sure that your offer is the best? How are you making sure it's written the way it should be written? And then how are you writing enough, right? Are you showing 50 properties and then 102, they're writing an offer? If that's the case, are you getting the right information to make sure you're showing the right properties? Are they even a real buyer? If you're showing hundreds of properties, one of two things: they're not a real buyer. They love the idea of buying, but they're not there and ready. Or number two, you don't have the right vision of what they're looking to purchase. So, I mean, back in the day, it was 10 to 1. 10 houses, you're under contract. It's a little different right now. And yet, I almost guarantee if you set the tone talking to a buyer that says, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, we look at 10 homes, no more than 10 homes, and then we write an offer. So to make sure that we're looking at the right 10 homes, this is the steps. We're not, depending on not all areas, but we used to have our clients drive by the property. When it was in the height of a market, we couldn't have clients drive by the property because we needed to show it, get the offer written. But it's a little bit slower right now. So are they driving back by the property? I can't tell you how many times I had somebody tell me the house was too close to the road. Well, did you drive by it? Because we didn't need to go in the house to realize that the house was too close to the road. So start thinking about how are you making sure you're not wasting your time, so you're getting more clients to work with more. And there is nothing wrong to say, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, we look at 10 homes. On average, we look at 10 homes and then go under contract. To do that, we need to know that exactly what you're looking for and make sure the homes match what you're looking for. So sometimes you're going to say, I want to go look at this house, and you want a first floor bedroom with a bath, and it doesn't have it. I'm going to ask you the question. Based on our conversation and our consultation and our strategy session, you stated that you needed a first floor bedroom with bath. This has a half bath and no bedroom on the first floor. Is that going to fit your needs? And they may say yes, because we can add on and we're willing to make this the expense because there's room to add on. Or they might say, no, thanks for taking us back to base, right? That's your job. That's what we get paid for. So let's just make sure that we're focused on that. And you absolutely want to do it because you don't want to work harder than you have to. Contracts closed, right? Tracking contracts closed is essential for understanding the health and profitability of your business. It includes knowing the number of units closed, the total volume of sales, and the gross income generated. The goals category ensures that agents focus on results and maintain accountability for their performance. How can you improve your process for closing contracts to ensure a higher conversion rate for written agreements to close deals? These are your conversion rates. Right now, it's a 75% conversion rate. 75% of your buyers and sellers should be closing. Some of it's higher, some of it's lower, depends on the market and depends on you as the agent. And the path is in the math. Everything we do is numbers. Like in my life, I knew for every 17 conversations I had, I got one closed piece of business because I knew my numbers. I knew that I did strategic data, and doing strategic data meant I was calling expireds, for sale by owners, people that own their homes 10 years and longer, pre-foreclosures, probate. Those people are more likely to sell. I was also hosting seminars. People that go to seminars are more likely to sell or buy, right? So are you talking to the right people? And this does not mean you stop talking to your database. It just means that you communicate with your database differently by giving them offers to share with other people that might have a real estate need. Then you have your fifth goal, the money. This is priority number one. Whether you're a solo person in life, a family person, whether you want to leave a great legacy, whether you don't want to leave a legacy, whether you want to spend every penny before you die, like there is a reason why you desire to make money. And whatever that reason that you desire to make money, number one, you have to tell somebody what that desire is and share it with everyone you could possibly share it with, because they're going to hold you accountable to it. If you don't have a why to the money, like, for example, if you love to travel, well, are you going to travel alone or are you going to travel with people? Do you want to own 100 doors, right? What is the reason that you desire to make the money? Most of you know mine, right? We all have a different reason. Joe and Kathleen, I'm going to call you out. Why do you desire to make money?
Well, my desire is it's for what money can offer us as far as our quality of life. And because Joe and I are getting older, we don't want to work until we're 80. So basically doing the work ahead of time, like the books, take the steps, do the work now, so that we'll be able to kind of pull back a little bit and have a really good quality of life later. And while we're doing it.
Kelly, why do you want to make money?
In this stage of my life, it's to get out of debt so that way we can finish helping my daughter in college, and then my husband and I can retire and enjoy ourselves and travel.
Okay. Kayla, why do you want to make money?
I want to make money so that I can provide a better future for my kids than what I ever had as a child. I want to be able to take them on family vacations and be able to play all the sports they want to play, regardless of how much it costs, and not have to go without on something else to be able to do that for them.
Nancy, why do you want to make money?
So I can travel, so I can go visit my kids and grandkids that live in Wisconsin, and we're planning a big trip to Florida in another month. And I like to be able to do more of that and spend more time with them and have it not be something they have to struggle with to pay for. That it'd just be fun to be able to go have a good time, be able to not worry about where the money's coming from.
Rita, why do you want to make money?
Well, I like flipping houses and I like doing 1031 exchanges that you don't have to pay the tax. You just pass over your profit over to the next property. And I find that kind of fun. And what I like most about real estate is finding homes for first-time buyers.
Yep.
You know, young couples between 25 and 35, and they've been together for 5 to 10 years, and they're just trying to find their dream house. And
so yours is what you deliver to other humans in addition to what you get personally. And that's for most of us, like selfishly, we all have why we do it for ourselves, but thank you for sharing that. One thing you noticed, it's different for everyone, right? We are all different humans. We believe in different things. We have different desires. We are in different places of our life. Like, so that money piece and that why, it's never going to look the same for everyone. You just want to make sure whoever you have in your world, they know what it is and the why behind it. So they encourage you and support you. And every one of you are so different on this call, which is awesome, right? But you're all here for a reason. So the money piece is huge. And the money piece, the other part of it, I mean, like I've said this before, my goal is to make 5,000 millionaires. When I make 5,000 millionaires, each one of those 5,000 people are going to do something different with that money, which is going to do something different for the world. Because I am me and I believe in what I believe in. Kayla's her, Kelly, you all believe in what you believe in. And because it's so different, we have an opportunity to change whatever it is that's important to us. So that money piece at the beginning, it's to take care of what needs to be taken care of so you can have the life. But then it's, once you get to that point, then it's okay, now what do I do with it? And like going to every country before I die, that might be something, right? Not for me, but it might be something for somebody. What do you want to do? It's huge. People are the most important form of leverage, right? Now, when you think of people, I don't want you to think of people in the sense of people that you pay. I want you to think about people that are going to get you business, give you opportunities, support you in growth. Like the people are the most important form of leverage in a real estate business. This specifically talks about workload, but also keep in mind, how do people support your business? Okay. So what specific roles do you need to fill in your business, and how can you ensure your recruit and train the right people to help achieve your goals? So I know, because I'm a math person, in order to have 24 transactions, it's 366 people in your database that know you, like you, and know how to refer business to you. So when I think of this 6 goal category, I think about who are those 366 people, because those are all people that are leverage in my business. So don't think of leverage just for the people that you're going to hire to work the business. Think about the people that are going to help support the business to make it easier for you to get the business. The 7th goal is the systems and tools. If you don't know by now, I'm a systems and tools person. That's how I roll. I love it. I think that that's what changes the trajectory of all of our businesses. So you want to document the systems, have your operations manual, and then what systems and tools do you need to implement or improve in your business to ensure scalability and consistency? How will you document your methods to achieve better results? This is where AI is a beautiful thing right now, again, because let's just say one of your lead gen sources is expireds. So what are all the steps you have to take to do expireds, right? You can literally put into AI, you're a real estate agent and your focus is on expireds. What are the conversations you need to have? How do you track all of the information? What are marketing pieces you could put out? And AI will spit that whole thing out for you. And then you're just going to say what works for me and what doesn't work for me. And what do you need a little more information on? So don't be scared of AI. At this moment in time, it's not taking over the world. It is helping the world. 20 years from now, I don't know, but it is what it is at this moment. 8th goal, personal education. This goes back to Quantum Leap, the 6 personal perspectives, right? Learn for doing sake, not for learning's sake, right? So personal education is a critical component for long-term success. Millionaire real estate agent prioritize learning for both themselves and their teams. Teams does not mean real estate teams, any team. This includes attending seminars, seeking coaching, and consistently improving skills to stay competitive in the ever-evolving market. What areas of knowledge or skills do you need to improve to better serve your clients and grow your business? How can you incorporate ongoing personal education into your routine? The minute you can get a coach, get a coach. As far as trainings you go to, what does your business plan include? And based on your business plan, what training do you need to attend? And then how are you growing your brain, right? Like what books are you reading? What podcasts are you listening to? And this is just not real estate. Like my mission in 2025 is to get healthy. So my reading list, bunch of books about mindset around health and fitness. You know, whatever is a priority in your life, that's what you're going to build out. As far as seminars, if it's going to move your business forward, take advantage of it. Don't go to training just for the sake of going to training because it's being held. Make sure you're really strategic. All right. So think a Million. This chapter, Think a Million, is a crash course in developing the right mindset and planning to become a millionaire real estate agent. By mastering the 9 ways of thinking, focusing on the 3 L's, utilizing the 8 goals, it's your way to get closer to $1 million. So I am going to pause here because this is based on what we did over the last 3 weeks. What adjustments are you going to make to think and become a millionaire?
I'm gonna be tracking more, trying to actually come up with a way to stay on top of follow-up, because that is where I failed last year, and I know that. So definitely focusing towards that and using the tracking to keep me accountable.
Okay. Who else?
Jonna, I'm going to be working on the AI marketing materials, for myself personally, to market myself, and also for clients.
Very good.
Getting in front of more people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, build a database and work it and just get in front of as many people and talk real estate as we can.
Yeah, and I would add to that, get in front of the right people. Because you can get in front of people. Are they the right people?
Right.
Like, are they your people?
Right.
Your people and my people are totally different people. I'm an introvert, right? I'm not an extrovert. Joe, you are very much an extrovert. So my people and your people are not going to be the same people. Again, don't judge your insides by other people's outsides. Build your business to who you are and not to who other people are. Okay. Remember pages 116 to 117, the points to read, it's literally the summary of this whole chapter. Okay. This is my favorite chapter. We're going to hit on like 10 minutes of it. Be sure to come back next week, because I promise you, this is the actionable items that will move your business forward. So the science of success. Success in real estate is not accidental. It follows a scientific approach. Proven models and consistent execution are key to achieve financial milestones. Focus areas include economic model, lead generation model, budget model, and organizational model. And it literally goes in that order. And if you've been in bold, it's elbow, right? ELBO. So if you ever forget the 4 models, just say elbow. And they did add a wealth. So you can almost say wealth is a model, and it would really be the word elbow. So how well are you applying these models in your real estate business today, right? How many of you are following all or some of these models? Right? So the economic model, that's the math, that's the path, right? I know I sound like a broken record, as my grandmother used to say to me all the time. The economic model is X amount of transactions, X amount of conversations, X amount of people in the database, X amount of listings, right? It's what's the what of the numbers. The lead generation is how do you get to the numbers? Then budget models, how do you make sure you stay in line? And the organizational models, how do you make sure you're not working 90 hours a week and burning out, right? Who are your people? I know burnout. I don't ever want anybody to experience burnout. How well are you applying these models in your real estate today? Percentage, somebody throw a percentage. How well are you using all 4 models in your business right now?
Joe?
Well, I've always built it on the economic model. Kathy is definitely in the budget model and lead gen model. I'm building the lead gen model. And I understand the organizational, but I can't do it if I don't do the other 3 first.
So would you say 50% is close to 100%, and then lead generation's where you're really driving right now. So by the end of the year, you should be at 75%.
Yes, fingers crossed. I mean,
You will.
obviously, that is the ultimate goal, is the 75% right
Yeah.
now.
You get there.
Yeah.
You're doing all the right things. Anyone else want to share where they're at?
I'm probably in the 20% area, but with me, it's consistency. I know what it is. It's consistency. I'm doing the right things. I can tweak things more with my lead generation of the, I was reading in the book about, the 33 touches. I'm not doing all of this. I'm doing some of it, which I can really press forward and do more. But I've
Absolutely.
got to be consistent and proactive about getting it done. So,
Takes a minute.
right.
You have to work on your business as much as you work in your business, right? So applying the science of success to achieve consistent results, agents must regularly evaluate their implementation of key models. Consider the impact of focus, discipline, and accountability in achieving your long-term goals. This essentially says, do you have time in your calendar where you're with yourself or your coach or someone where you're looking at and evaluating every area? And then what specific changes can you make to better align with these models and drive success? So twofold, what are you doing now? And then I would say, what changes do you have to make? Okay. I'm going to say this again, broken record. Do yourselves a favor, and whatever you do for thinking time, or when you're like, answer a couple questions, because it's going to change the trajectory of your business. You're not going to, we get 60,000 thoughts in a day. And I swear, like, I'm probably half of those thoughts by the end of this call, because there's just so much content here. Right. So you have to go back to it, because if you're not going back to it, it was just great information. You got one or two things and maybe you'll remember it. So why models matter? Models are crucial tools for achieving success. The right models align with your goals and lead to high achievement. Top achievers follow big models that focus on the 20% of activities that generate 80% of the results. How can you identify and implement the right models to support your goals? I'm going to refer to the One Thing book on this. You ask big questions. When you ask big questions, and then you look for specific actions. So your question may be, how do I get to 24 transactions? Is your big question, how do I get to 24 transactions? Or is your big question, how do I get to 48 transactions? Is 24 doable? And you're just being safe? A lot of us like to live in safe. And then when you ask that big question, and honestly, I think when you want to actually throw up in your mouth, that's when you've hit the big. If you don't feel like you're going to get sick because you made this decision and you're not uncomfortable, it's probably not big enough, right? Once you know the big, then specifically, what do you have to do to make it happen? And this is where the training and the reading and the education, because this is where you learn the specifics. SMART, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time-bound. Everything that you put out there, you land those 5 for SMART, and you get to where you want to be. Then you have the 4 fundamental models, right? We've discussed this. Defines key, I actually jumped the gun and did this sooner. Defines key financial metrics to achieve a net income. Lead generation model, a systematic approach to generating leads. Budget model guides spending to maximize profitability, and then helps structure your team for growth. Which of these models do you need to focus on the most to grow? I was ahead of ourselves. So applying the models to achieve success. Each model contributes to overall business performance. A structured approach ensures scalability and profitability. Focus on optimizing each model step by step. So what specific action can you take today to better apply a model in your business? I do want you, somebody that has not talked a lot, what one model, what action are you going to do?
Track. I'm going to track this,
Okay.
track my activities.
Okay. What else? Anyone else? Something that they're like, I'm doing this.
I'm gonna learn more about the Facebook marketplace. I think that's always been a fear of mine. And so I'm gonna move past fear into empowerment. And so I thank you, Kayla, I think it was that mentioned it.
Yeah. So, and the question that I would ask around that is who's doing it at a high level and doing it well that you should talk to, right? Because who's come before you, so you're not starting from ground zero. And there's a lot of people, I mean, talk to Kayla. She'll connect you with Jen. Jennifer is amazing. I don't even know how she she blows me out of the water. And I was her coach and she's better than I am, honestly. It was pretty amazing what she's accomplished.
And that's who?
Jennifer Sumrall. She was actually at the KW New England Masterminds. She was on stage during the Masterminds, but she's out of the Portland Market Center. She's been in this business 3 years. And she has done very well for herself. So the 4 models provides a roadmap for building a successful real estate business. These models help agents focus on the most critical aspects of their business. How do you apply them? Okay. All right, this is where we're going to stop. We're going to go through the economic model next week. And depending on how long I talk to you all, we're going to try to hit a little bit of the lead gen. Before I let you all go, what's one thing you learned? What'd you love? Is this still worth it? Anything you want to see differently?
This was great.
Okay.
Have a plan and work it.
Yeah. Have a plan and work it. What else? 2 more.
Systems in place are really important.
Yep. Yeah. Only reason I accomplish everything I accomplish is because I am ridiculous with systems. Ask Tina. Like, Tina watches my brain on systems. It's ridiculous. What else?
Lead gen.
Lead gen. Yeah, you don't have a business unless you lead gen. Do you want to be a real estate receiver? Or are you going to go out and get it? The more you go out and get it, again, whatever your life you desire to look like, the bigger, you don't even, some of us don't even know what we want. And the more opportunity we get, the stronger the ability to figure out what we want. Because I don't know about you, and Kelly, I feel like you can relate to this. We all have a story of past that limits the story of the future, right? I know people on the screen can absolutely relate to that. Who were you yesterday that is preventing you from being who you should be tomorrow? Don't live in that. All right, my friends. One more thing. Give me one more. Come on. And then
There's a drawing in right at the end of what we just talked about. It's a straight line with the deviating lines off it, and it says models, and you bounce back and forth, keep on going to the model, and next to it, it shows without a model how you're just all over the place.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right.
I'm so thankful that I found Keller Williams Realty. Like, I can't even begin to tell you my life pre-2013, post-2013. And it's the be, do, achieve. It's not the what I did to achieve. It's who I became. And they can call it Kool-Aid or whatever they want to call it, but it's literally training your brain to work the right way so you get what you desire in life, because we were meant to be on this planet to have the best life we could possibly have. We just need to go do it. All right, my friends, I'll see you next week. And I'm going to make sure more people are on the call.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.